This is just to get the basic shape. Your eye is moving back and forth, and this goes around. Alright guys, my name is Tom, and I thought what fun it would be to have an art class on YouTube. We'll be drawing, painting, pastels, oil pastel, field trips. We'll just try to make it as fun as possible, no pressure, and have some fun. Alright, these are some of the supplies we'll be using. We got pastel. And as we go along, guys, I'll tell you details of exactly what you'll need for the project. I'm just trying to show you all the things we're going to be doing. These are crayons, oil pastel, I have charcoal sticks, drawing pads, black paper, color pencils. I got everything, and we'll be doing some tempera painting. I thought we could start out with the project drawing flowers. It's going to be awesome. I see some flowers over there. Let's go check them out. Alright guys, that's it for the flowers. Let's head back to the studio. The sun is bright today. Back. Waiting to get drawn. So we're back in the studio, and if you noticed, obviously you probably did, that among the real flowers, I began to show you some artist flowers, and that artist was Georgia O'Keeffe. So real quick, let's look at her art, and then we'll move on and do our own art. But hopefully we'll get some inspiration from her. All right, let's get the lights. These were her flowers, guys. She painted with acrylic, and she painted in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and maybe even 60s. This was her in her younger years. This was one of the flowers you saw. She had said that flowers were so beautiful that she liked to get close to them to show their beauty. These are really cool. This is where her work got really abstract now. She zoomed in so close that it began to take on an abstraction, an abstract art. This really was inspired by a flower. And this is her in her older years. Look how abstract this got. Large yellow shape. Maybe I was inspired by that yellow shape there. I don't know. Okay, that's it. So now we'll get into the drawing and the pastel painting of your own flower. All right, so what I've done here, guys, is I've drawn a little bit ahead. And now I'll go over it with you. So what I do is I take my eye and I find an edge of the flower where the air space, if you want to say it, meets the edge of the flower. And what I do is I take my eye and I travel very slowly that edge. And as I travel slowly along that edge, I move my pencil along with it. So what you'll find is that your eye is moving back and forth from the edge of this edge to your paper and your pencil. So as if your eye is connected to your pencil. And what you want to do is you don't want to name things. The brain will try to name what it's doing, and you don't want to do that. Art is seeing. You know, drawing is seeing. So here, when this shape comes down here, this edge, that was this edge. And then I came over here and I drew this around and it came down. I'm not labeling. So now I'm going to start this and I'll show you what this looks like. See this edge here? This edge forms right from, I compare it to something else I've drawn. This part comes to here. So this edge starts right about there. So now I'm looking at the flower now. I'm not looking at my paper. Now I'm at my paper. I go back and forth. I notice my eye goes back and forth, and you travel along that edge with your eye as well as your pencil. So right now I'm right here. And now what I'll do is I'll look ahead to see the space that it's forming. I see this line that I've already drawn is right here. So what I see is this part comes down here and it comes down and it almost meets that other edge and it goes in there. That's it, guys. That's all we're doing. Like a magical recording device with your eye and your pencil, travel the edge, and you should find yourself looking back and forth. Now I'm coming here and I'm looking where it meets this other shape and looking at the kind of shape that's formed here, and I notice that even if I come from here, this side, I can just look over and I follow that edge to meet that one. And that's what the flower looks like, guys. From my angle, I'm looking at it from a little bit from here. You guys are looking at it a little bit from above and down this way, as if you were over my shoulder now looking at this. All right? As far as our project is concerned, we don't need too many, if any, of these lines in here at all. If you start adding interior lines, you're going to destroy your nice, this is called a contour drawing. It's just the outer edges and some of these interior lines here. So this obviously is not going to be our pastel painting. This is a small version, and I'm going to show you now how we enlarge this to fit on the larger paper and make a nice decent size artwork. All right? That's the hard part. So now all we have to do is take the drawing we made and enlarge it. All right, enlarging it is pretty simple. Basically, you could take a ruler if you wanted to, but you don't have to. The paper we're working on is rectangular in size. So what I want to do is I want to draw a rectangle around my flower. But I want the flower, for a good composition, we don't want to, for example, if this is our paper, we don't want our flower to be right in the middle. That's not a great composition. We want part of it going off, so you choose. We want at least 2 of the sides, maybe 3 of the sides to be hitting the flower. So what I will do is I'll draw a rectangle this way, cut through here, and we'll come across here, and we'll come across the bottom, and we'll maybe keep this side open. So that's more of a square. This is just to get the basic shape. Now I could extend this down a little bit, you know, now to make it more of a rectangle, and this would be, so what you do is you get rid of this, you get rid of this, Obviously we're going to take this out now. Alright, so my flower will fit inside my big paper like this. Alright, so we're going to have this space open here. This will be our background, and I'll talk about color in our second lesson. For this first lesson, we just want to get the drawing aspect down. And that's it. So here we go. I look at this here, and I find it's almost to the middle of the size, the complete side. So I'm going to go to the middle and over a little bit, and I'll draw this line in. I'm drawing him in a little darker so you can see it. Now I also look over here, guys. I look to see where that line is going to go. Now it's not so critical about exactly where it goes, because we're talking abstract expressionism. It's not realism, but we want it to still look like the flower. So now I see this shape down here is a little bit less, not quite halfway, but almost, and it goes up. I got to move this over now, and it goes this way, and it goes into the center. And then this one is down here, almost about a quarter away from the bottom. So I'll draw, that will start here, and I'll come around. Notice I'm not labeling things, guys. I'm using words like come around, the edge, this shape. Like I said before, the brain will want to label things, and when you start labeling, you're no longer seeing. You're drawing from a memory trace of something that you may have seen at one time, but you're not seeing exactly what's in front of you. So here we go. Now I'm going to draw this line over here. And guys, you can't see me, but as I'm doing this, this one comes over here. It's going to come down here, and it's going to meet down into the middle, and I'll stop it there. Alright, here we go. This is going to come down here, and I'm looking at the other one, comes to the edge, almost touches it, comes in, goes up, and meets in the center. And I'm going to come in here, and this goes around, up, and it meets up with the other one. That is now this, guys. In the next video, we'll work on the pastel, blending, shading, and pulling this together, making it look beautiful. Something you could hang on your refrigerator if you wanted. Alright? So happy drawing and painting. Have a good one. Take care.